Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm kind of doing a different type of video, as you can see. I just decided I wanted to sit down and have a little chat with you guys, and I have to fold some laundry. So I thought I'd use this opportunity to get some laundry done. Avery is napping, and I would just talk to you guys. I have a lot of things that I want to cover. So I thought this would be the perfect time, so we will just get into it. So I thought I wanted to do one of these videos because obviously I had a lot going on personally, and I've had a lot of questions, and I wanted to go over all that, kind of catch up and tell you guys where I'm at right now with my life just in general, and I want to answer some of your most common questions that I get asked all the time. So we'll be talking about all of that today. But yeah, so I just got back from a work trip. I had to travel to Richmond, Virginia for work, so I went and did that, and it was fun. I was there from Monday until Thursday night. I got back last night around 11 p.m. And so it's Friday, and I didn't go into work today. I'm taking today to catch up, hang out with Avery, and just get laundry done. That's why I have my laundry to do, and just clean and get my house settled, which is kind of nice before the weekend hits. So it was really exciting to see Avery, of course Mike as well. And it was really nice because I had planned on doing this when I got back, but then, because I thought I was gonna have a lot of laundry. Well, I got back and Mike he did all of the laundry. So this is pretty much just my laundry that I had on the trip, plus some extras that happened from yesterday. And it was just so nice. I mean, I'm not like, oh my gosh, it's so nice that he did the laundry, because it's obviously his laundry too, but he just knew how important it was for me, so I thought that was nice. He came, he had the house all cleaned, so that was nice, because he knows I like coming home to a clean home, and I primarily do all of the cleaning in our house just because he does help out. I mean, it's his, you know what I mean? I don't want people like jumping all over me like, oh, he shouldn't be helping you out. No, I like doing the cleaning, and I like it done a certain way. So I sometimes don't like him helping me because I'm a perfectionist when it comes to cleaning, so it's like, don't touch it. So he cleaned. It was so sweet last night. I wouldn't tell him this, but I walked in and it was clean, not how I would clean it, but I said thank you. I was very appreciative of it, to not walk into a messy house. So he's very thoughtful in that way. He knows what I like, and he wanted to be, you know, thoughtful for that. So anyways, something that I wanted to answer is I get asked a lot of questions. I haven't done a Q&A video yet. I hope to do one in the near future, but some questions that I get asked all the time, and I thought I'd just answer them on here. The first one I get asked, people always ask me how old I am, and I am 31 years old. I was born on March 2nd, 1986. So I'm 31 years old, and so is Mike. We're the same age. He was born in January, actually on January 1st. So his birthday is New Year's Day, so he gets a party every year for his birthday because it's New Year's Eve. So we'll always have people come over, and yeah. So we are the same age, and if you see me looking down, I kind of wrote some of these down. So I'm 31. What do I do for work? I kind of talked about work here in the beginning. I work in, it's not easy to say, and I'm cautious, of course, like I trust you guys and all that, and I wish I could tell you every piece of this, but of course, because it's the internet and I don't know who's all watching, I have to be careful, and not just for me, but mainly for my work. I do work in the public. It's a public relations type of job, and I work with a lot of kids, I guess you could say, high school kids, middle school kids, and works in college. Not that college students are not always kids, but you know what I mean. So it's kind of hard to explain, actually, and even in my personal life, when people ask me what I do, it's not a simple answer ultimately, but it's not really the path that I thought I would take as my career, but that's where I am right now. Public relations job, and I do a lot of day traveling to schools, high schools, middle schools, universities. So that's why if you've watched any of my videos about me working, I've said, you know, I am in the office sometimes, but a lot of times I'm not in the office. I do a lot of day traveling. So basically public relations, that's a good way to sum all of that up. Oh, and I work for a nonprofit. But yeah, that's what I do for work. If you watched the video of how we save for the house, I kind of talked about what my husband Mike does for a job, and I get asked that a lot. He is a financial analyst for a big company here. He was actually supposed to go with me on this trip, and we even purchased the plane tickets, and he was just gonna join me, you know, perfect timing. But his company, which is it's a really big company, 2018 budget was due actually today. So he's one of those people responsible for that. So he can't really take up and leave. He thought he was gonna be able to, but then as it got closer, you know, he could only do so much, and he's relying on a lot of other people on his team to get work done too. So it's not like he could just get his work done and go. No, he was relying on other people, so he didn't get to go, which kind of bummed me out. But it was okay because I actually got to relax a lot, which if he would have been coming, we would have been doing a lot of sightseeing and all that. So it worked out. But yeah, he's a financial analyst. He has a degree in business finance. But yeah, that's what he does. How did we meet? We met actually in 5th grade camp. So our 5th grade classes, we were from the same city, but there was 2 elementary schools in our city at the time. And he went to one, I went to the other, and we went to 5th grade camp and we met. He was new, he had actually just moved into the district. And then we officially started becoming friends, I guess you could say. In 6th grade, we were in the same class, Mrs. Ryder's 6th grade class. And I thought he was cute then. We dated a couple times in middle school, and then officially started dating in high school, sophomore year. We were 15, and I guess you could say the rest is history, because here we are, 31 years old and still together. So that's crazy, crazy. But so we met 5th grade camp, kind of also 6th grade, but a lot of times I just say we met in high school, so high school sweethearts. Okay, so this one's kind of a different type of question. Obviously I put up what I eat in a day videos, and as you can see, I eat pretty healthy. Of course, I let myself eat, you know, if something sounds good, but as a majority, I like to eat very healthy. I wouldn't say Mike he has the same goals as I do when it comes to eating. He is also extremely picky. I don't know how to put this, but he does not like any fruits. 0. Like, not a banana, not an apple, none of it. Which I don't understand, because like I try not to judge, because it's like I don't like some things and I can't explain why I don't like it. But like a banana and an apple don't taste the same. Like, they're different textures. Like, same thing with a pineapple. Like, none of it. He doesn't eat any fruits. And he also doesn't eat any vegetables. So any of you health nuts, you're probably like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Yep, no fruits, no vegetables, and that's like a bulk of my diet. So we don't eat together. Well, we eat together our meals, but we don't eat the same things. I shouldn't say we never do. We do. There are things like pizza and tacos. Of course, I add lettuce and tomatoes and guacamole to my tacos that he does not. But we do eat some things together. We just don't eat a lot of things, because I'll try to get a lot of fruit and vegetables in my diet. So I know that's crazy, but that's just how it's always been. And so like we each are just responsible for like meal planning for ourselves. And then I do primarily the meal planning for Avery. So I'll just think ahead of what I want, what she needs, and then make the grocery list, and then he thinks of what he wants for that week, and then he'll add stuff to the grocery list off of that. So that's just so crazy, and I know we're so unique in that, but it's just, I want to eat healthy. I have these goals. He doesn't like the same things, so it's like that's just what works for us. So if you see in any of my meal planning videos, sometimes it doesn't seem like that much, but a lot of times it's just for me and Avery. And obviously if it's something that I know she's not going to eat, I'll just make her kind of a separate, quick, easy meal, like throw together, you know, like healthy foods, but just easy healthy foods. And it sounds complicated, but it's really not at all. So, but of course, like I said, we do make dinners together. We just don't always make dinners together. So if you watch any of my, you know, what I eat in a day video or whatever, and you're like confused, it's just because there's a chance that he's not eating that. So yeah, we eat separate things. Last question I always get questions on is, because I am a working mom, it's do I ever want to stay at home? And to be honest, I could probably do a whole video on this, and I'm actually thinking about doing it because I have a lot of thoughts. And for those of you who have actually asked me this question, you know, yeah, I have a lot of thoughts on it. So I work full time. I always thought I was going to work full-time. I never thought much of it. It was always like, I'm going to graduate, and I've always known I wanted to be a mom, but I'm going to graduate high school, go to college, and get a job. Like, that's what my goals, I never thought anything else. And so here I am. And I will admit that having Avery has changed my motivation in my career, because my mind is just somewhere else, and it's tough. And I've said this before, there are days I want to be at home, and there are days I'm so happy to be working. I go back and forth all the time, and people ask me, do you ever want to stay at home? I don't know. Yes, I do want to stay at home, but then I love my job and I love working, so I don't have the answer to that. We're just kind of taking it, I guess, day by day, week by week, year by year type of thing. Right now I'm happy working, and it's so hard either way. I mean, getting up and leaving Avery every single day is so tough, especially when I see my mother-in-law watches her. If you're new to my channel, my mother-in-law comes over to our house and watches her, and so I'm so grateful for that. I mean, I really couldn't ask for a better person to watch her, but then at the same time, I leave in the morning and I see, and then I get pictures of them going to the library and going to the park, and oh, Avery, look, Avery did this, Avery did that. And it's like, I want to be that, you know, I want to be there for that. But then I love my job. So it's just like, I don't know. I don't know. So as much of a planner as I am a huge planner, and I don't like to just like wait and see what happens. Honestly, that's what I'm doing right now. I would say I'm okay right now, but I think about when Avery goes to school, like when she's in kindergarten, which then she's gonna be gone for a majority of the day. But like, I wanna be there when she gets off the bus. I wanna be the one that she's running to off the bus and saying, oh, look what I did, or I did this, or this happened at school. I want to be there for that. So, I don't know. But then I love my job, and I feel like I love working. I do. So I don't know. So that is the answer. I know I really didn't give you guys an answer there, but it's tough. And then when I am home with Avery, if I take like a vacation day, or like today I was home with her, like sometimes I'm like, man, being a stay-at-home mom is hard. I mean, I always knew it was hard. I'm not one of those people that says it's not a hard job at all. It's tough. And then like when I am home with her, sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm glad I get to go to work. But then when I go to work, it's hard too. So I don't think it's easy either way. Ultimately, it's a tough job. But yeah, there's my answer on that. Like I said, a lot of thoughts. Oh, someone also recently asked me what Mike thinks about me working. And I'll be honest, he doesn't really care either way. He is a very supportive husband in that he's not like, oh my gosh, I want my wife to be at home. I mean, some couples are like, that's what I want, that's what my husband has wanted for his wife, and that's what we chose for our family. Or it's, you know, you see some families where they're like, I like it that my wife works for whatever reason, but like my husband really doesn't have a preference. He's like, whatever you want to do. Like if in the future you want to stay at home and we can financially make that work, I'm all for it, of course. Mr. Financial, always thinking about that. Okay, Okay, so now I will get into my life update. So I do want to address my miscarriage if you watch that video. If not, I will have it linked down below. And I can't say enough the amount of support I've had from you guys. I was blown away. Just so many people sending their thoughts. And I think why it blows my mind is because you guys are strangers. You know what I mean? In a way, like we've never met face to face. And for you guys to care and pray for me and have your thoughts go out to me or cry along with me blows my mind. I mean, I figured I would have a lot of support, but I didn't think I'd have as much support, and just how thoughtful and you guys are. So thank you, truly. You have helped me tremendously. And then the amount of personal stories that you guys have shared with me, it makes me feel that I'm not alone. And I think that's why I originally had wanted to share all of this, with even my trying to conceive journey for the, baby number 2. And I decided to share this is because I don't want to feel alone in this. And you guys sharing your stories makes me not feel alone. So thank you for sharing all of your stories. So how are we doing? I guess a lot of people have asked me how we're doing. I'll be honest, we're actually doing very, very well considering the circumstances. So if you don't know, I did have a miscarriage with my daughter Avery. She was a twin. We lost that baby at 13 weeks. And I struggled with that one. And I've had a few weeks to process why, and I think I know why. So there's a lot of different reasons why this one just seems easier. I think it's a collection of a lot of things. I think one of the biggest reasons is it was a complete shock. Because I was also still pregnant and had a miscarriage, my body didn't show signs that I was having a miscarriage. And I was still having pregnancy symptoms. And so it was just we went into the doctor's, we're yay, happy, get to see the babies. And then in a split second, we find out that one of the babies is no longer, living. So complete shock. This one, there were a lot of things leading up that made me scared and hesitant. And then I did ultimately have bleeding for pretty much a day and a half to 2 days. So it's at that point, you're well, I know this is not good. I know it's probably not good. So I think that it wasn't a surprise. I also, the whole time, I didn't really feel good. I didn't really say this, but I had continued to take tests. Pregnancy tests, I know I shouldn't keep taking pregnancy tests after I had my first positive, but I did, and it never got really dark. And I'm well, I know at this point it's way past 2 weeks after ovulation, 14 days past ovulation, but yet it still wasn't darker. And of course I read that can be normal, there's reasons, blah, 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 but it was why isn't it dark? But there again, pushed it aside, it can be normal. And then I had the bleeding early on, went into the doctor. They put me on progesterone suppositories. They did test my progesterone and it was low. There again, that can be normal. It's not always a bad sign, but it shouldn't, it's not typical. It's not what should be happening, but it can be normal. So I put that aside. I never got any pregnancy symptoms ever. And if you watch my announcement video, you heard me say that I feel really good. And there were so many people, and they meant well, but they were well, you just might be one of those lucky ones, you get no, but the thing is those lucky ones, yeah, they might feel good, but there's still some symptoms where they don't feel normal. I felt normal. My stomach could be completely empty and I wouldn't feel sick, not even a tiny bit. My boobs never, ever, ever hurt, not even a tiny bit. I was not tired at all. I didn't have one food aversion at all. Literally nothing was different. I felt no different. So there again, has that happened to people? Yes, but it's not typical. So I set that aside. And I think also when the baby was measuring 5 days off, which can be normal, but you know, not ideal, I guess. And the weird thing about the 5 days off is, for somebody who isn't tracking their cycles or don't know it, okay, you can be off with your ovulation because they're going off the first day of your last period. So ovulation could be totally off because you don't know. But with me, I have to track it. I have to take my temperature every morning. So if you don't understand that, you just take it. It rises after ovulation, and I have to do that because I have to take progesterone 2 days after ovulation. So I really have to be precise and know exactly when I ovulate so I can take the progesterone. So when they had me ovulating, or the baby was like, the date the baby was measuring, I had already started taking my progesterone. And I'm like, well, no, I know for a fact I had already ovulated then based off of my temperature, and I'd already been taking progesterone. So it's like, that doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? So it's like, there were just so many little things that just added up, that just made me feel off and not good. But I was trying to be positive. Mike he's so positive. I mean, I am more pessimistic. He was trying to be positive throughout this. And I even started telling myself, like, you need to you need to get a grip on this. You need to start feeling better. That's why I made the announcement. After our second appointment, second ultrasound, we were in the doctor's afterwards. You know, we had just seen the heartbeat. Mike had a big smile on his face, and I wasn't happy. And he's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I just don't feel good about this. And he's like, he just was like, I don't understand why you're being pessimistic about this. We just saw the heartbeat, like everything looks good. And I'm like, I don't know. And my doctor came in, we started talking, and then like I started crying in front of her. And guys, I don't cry. Like, I don't cry ever. We joke that I have a heart of stone, me and my friends. Like, I don't cry very often, ever. And so for me to cry after I just had good news, happy news, something internally was telling me things were not right. And now looking back, like, I'm not happy that I was right, but now I look back and I'm like, okay, you weren't crazy. You weren't being crazy, pessimistic Jamie. You had an internal feeling something wasn't right. So yeah, so I think all of that makes me not surprised, I guess. So how are we doing? We're doing very well. I mean, I'm sure it helps to have Avery. It doesn't take away all the pain. I actually just read an article that said something along the lines of, like, people say, well, at least you have another child. And not that anyone has ever said that to me, but I say it in my mind, well, at least I have another child. But then people will say, in the article, they said, they're like, that's not fair, because it would be like if you lost a parent and then somebody came up to you and say, well, at least you have your other parent who is alive. I mean, you can still grieve the loss of that baby. So, but with that aside, it does help that we have her, because I want to have a smile on my face. So that does help. So ultimately, how are we doing? Actually pretty well. And we're trying to be positive in the next steps. I'll be honest, I don't want a big gap between Avery and the next child. I don't. I don't want much more than 3 years, but at this point, they're already going to be over 3 years. But it's hard because I'm so mentally and physically and emotionally done with all of this, just trying for so long and then miscarrying. It's like, ugh, like, I'm just done. But at the same time, I want it so bad. So, but I guess this video is like so much longer than I wanted to, but I really like this. I was kind of nervous to do this because I don't know if you guys will like this, but throwing up other types of videos, it's like I don't get to like talk to you guys, and you guys say so many good, nice things to me, comments, that I kind of wanted to address some of those and just talk to you, like have some like girl talk type of thing. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I feel like it's a little bit more personal. You guys get to have a little peek into my life and how I'm doing, and I get to talk directly to you guys because you guys have meant so much to me. So I hope, if you're still here, thank you guys so much. I can't thank you enough. And if you guys like this type of video, give me a thumbs up and let me know in the comments down below. Obviously, they won't all be this long. I had a lot to cover, but I will definitely make more like it just so we can connect a little bit better. But that's it for me today, guys. Thank you so much. I will see you guys next time. Bye.